an Irish spirit typically found in swamps, bogs, or marshes. Said to be spirits of the dead, jack-o'-lanterns appear as floating flames and are known around the world by various names such as Will-o'-the-Wisp and Hitodama. They are also said to come out at night to startle travelers and make them lose their way.
Hello, Internet. I'm HamsterBomb.
And I'm Kimothy.
And this is Demonica, your Shin Megami Tensei Demon Compendium, where we look at the real-life lore that influenced the designs behind the series' demons. The moon is a waxing gibbous or something like that, but it's bright because it's Halloween.
I know. It's not a harvest moon on Halloween, though. Those are the best.
No, it's actually Halloween as we record this right now. We record on Fridays, and these go up on Tuesdays, just in case you needed a little reminder about what our really schedule is if you're just listening to this. There you go.
We don't record live.
Kim, what religious, mythological, historical, fictional, cryptozoological character or concept will we be summoning tonight on Halloween?
You already said it. Jack-o'-lantern.
Jack-o'-lantern. We got a little perler of him. I can actually see him from where we're recording right now.
Yeah.
He's our sprite from Shin Megami Tensei 2. I kind of liked that sprite versus the one that we got from Shin Megami Tensei. He doesn't look as, I don't know, menacing, or he doesn't look like himself as much in SMT1. He looks really good in SMT2. Anyway, yeah, we have a perler of that guy, and you can check it out on our site, on Etsy, with 10% off your order, Demonica10. Yeah, that thing.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Got it in there.
Got it. So there's only one thing I wanted to mention in housekeeping. I don't know about you, Kim, but I felt really stupid when I was editing through our Eden episode and found out that both of us made a big mistake when we were doing your quiz question. You gave answers for where this mountain could have been on what planets your last option was Neptune. And I immediately said, oh, good, none of the gas giants are in there. That would have been a total waste. That would have been stupid. And yeah, well, I said that because I was only hearing Mercury, Mars, and Venus, which were the only real contenders, and I was hoping that one of them was excluded from the options, and I just wasn't even listening to Neptune. So I made a stupid, Kim made a stupid. We're sorry, but hey, in the end, I got the question wrong anyway, so it didn't matter. Now, with that out of the way, what do we first think of when we hear the name Jack-o'-lantern? Well, this should be easy.
I know, right? I feel like I need to talk about the fact that I had never carved a pumpkin till about 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's weird.
Did not do it as a kid. And every single year, I always think about, I would go over to my grandparents' house. We would all get together and we'd go to a big pumpkin patch, and they do pumpkin sculptures and paintings. And I think we would buy pumpkins, but I was only ever allowed to paint a pumpkin and not actually carve a pumpkin for a jack-o'-lantern.
Super boring. I mean, it's fun in its own way, but you gotta carve them.
I don't know why I wasn't allowed to carve, other than my parents were like, that's too messy, you're not doing that.
Yeah, the weird thing that my parents did was we carved them all the time. I mean, I was drawing and then carving those jack-o'-lantern designs as a kid, but there was only 1 year where we decided to take the seeds from the pumpkin and roast them, salt them, and, put them in the oven for a while and eat them. And it was really good. I was surprised at how good it was. And my parents, instead of, making that a tradition and doing it every year, they just talk about it every year. And they're like, remember that one time 25 years ago when we roasted pumpkin seeds? That was really good. And they've never done it again.
Yeah, this time they were trying to convince us to roast pumpkin seeds from a possibly contaminated Superfund site.
Yeah, a radioactive pumpkin. Yeah, no thanks. I'll carve the pumpkin, but I ain't eating any of them seeds.
We just found out the pumpkin patch we like to visit during this time of year was right next to a Superfund site.
Yeah, a nuclear meltdown right next door. And I mean, right next door.
It was across the street.
Yep. So usually I would carve scary faces as a kid, but I kind of moved on to images or characters when I got older. And more recently, I like to carve what our daughter designs, because that just ends up looking scarier than anything that I've ever made.
She draws very scary faces. So.
Well, she's trying to draw happy faces and stuff, but with a black marker, and it's kind of scribbly and scratchy looking. If you take the literal shape there It looks really freaky because it's uncanny. Like, she knows just enough how to make 2 eyes and a mouth and in the right places,
Yeah,
sort
well,
of.
all children's drawings can be a little terrifying.
Yeah, if you try to literally take it as is, like, have you seen those illustrations that AI take of kids' designs and stuff?
I love that.
It's that kind. Some are silly, some are terrifying, and our daughter has made some terrifying illustrations for pumpkins. So anyway, let's first talk about Jack-o'-lantern as he appears in SMT. Is he correct? He was a Jack, right? A guy named Jack, I assume. So, all right. Jack-o'-lantern, otherwise known as Pyro Jack, is one of the oldest and most consistent demons in the entire series, originating from the second game, Megami Tensei 2. He was previously known as Pyro Jack due to limited character counts for demon names, and to this day I mostly call him Pyro Jack instead of the obvious Jack-o'-lantern.
I love the name Pyro Jack so much more, though.
I'm gonna be fighting this episode trying to say Jack-o'-lantern, and
I know.
I'm so used to Pyro Jack. He only recently got changed to Jack-o'-lantern, so if you're playing
Persona
3,
5.
Sure, yeah. And if you're playing Shin Megami Tensei 3 on PS2, he's Pyro Jack. If you play on the remaster, he's Jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah.
So there was a switch, I believe it was around Persona 5, when you just have enough characters now for naming demons, and everybody got their proper name, and his name should be Jack-o'-lantern.
That's what his name was supposed to be anyway. Pyro Jack just sounds cooler, though. I like it.
There's other names for him, and I kind of like some of the other ones we'll see coming up in a bit. For the record, we considered doing Jack Frost for our J episode, but we decided to hold off and save the series Pikachu for later. And the fact that this ended up being our Halloween episode is just a wonderful coincidence, if you can believe it or not.
Yeah. I also think that jack-o'-lanterns might be like the Clefairy of SMT.
What the heck does that mean?
It's iconic still. People still know what it is, but it's not Pikachu.
Oh, yeah. Originally, I think they were... Ash was going to have a Clefairy instead of a Pikachu, and they were debating what was going to be the icon for the series. I think they made the right choice. Pikachu looks like boys and girls will both like it, but Clefairy's pink, man. That's...
Has wings.
Yeah, it's got little sissy girly wings.
This is not a Pokemon podcast.
No, but I kind of see what you're going with there. I would argue Poliwhirl. He's more like Poliwhirl.
Okay,
Ash was also going to have a Poliwhirl, and that's one that goes both ways. Anyway, Jack-o'-lantern only has 2 designs, which for a demon this old is totally ludicrous. Even Cerberus had tons of designs we were talking about forever, and Cerberus is barely older than Jack-o'-lantern. In his original appearance, he appears as a traditional jack-o'-lantern, a carved pumpkin with a menacing face, though the pumpkin looks more like a rotting orange tomato. He has cartoonishly small legs and arms coming out of the pumpkin. On his feet are silly red shoes, and he has 3 fingered hands, which have Mickey Mouse gloves on them.
I kinda liked this design.
I freaking hate it.
I like it.
It's so unsettling. Well, also, it clearly looks like an early design. It does not look like an Atlas character. And I think our new one is totally iconic, and I love it. The old one...
I do not disagree with that. I'm just saying, and I'll get to it in my section. I'll explain why I also like that design, too.
Yeah. Now, luckily, in his key art, he actually has 4 fingers. So if you were looking at his sprite, you might have been confused. Because if you're looking at the sprite... He has 3, and he is wagging his finger at you.
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
Which you can only imagine what he's doing. So, yeah, he's just flipping you off and wagging his finger at you.
Oh, no.
And it's animated, too.
That's okay.
After this awkward origin, we got a new design for Jack-o'-lantern in Shin Megami Tensei 1 that lasted for the rest of this little guy's career. Now, Jack-o'-lantern's pumpkin isn't rotting away, and he has brighter lights coming from the inside for eyes, and on his head is a big, dark green, pointy hat. Below the pumpkin, a dark blue cape drapes below with no body inside. Aside from 2 white gloves that emerge as hands, and one of them is holding an old-fashioned lantern. So he still kind of keeps the gloves that he had from before. Luckily, he has an appropriate amount of fingers now, so we don't have to worry about that happening ever again. Now, I mean it when I say that this design hasn't changed a bit over the years. Even in Demi-Kids, Jack-o'-lantern looks exactly the same, just slightly more chibi. In the Virtual Boy banger Jack Bros, yes, I'm sure about that sentence, he appears with a slightly scratchier style, even more deformed and with slightly more 90s intensity to him, if that makes sense. He's also instead known as Jack-Lantern, a rare change from Pyro Jack. But more importantly, Jack Bros is an amazing game that never comes up in normal conversation, so I am soaking in this magical moment.
Of course you are. It's going to come up every single time we mention one of those three.
Yeah, well, oh, goodness, a Jack
And
Frost
Pixie,
episode,
right?
There's a lot of demons who are in it. Like, the first boss is Lamia, I think.
Oh,
And,
really?
we might have, I think we skipped over it when we talked about Angel, who was also a boss, I believe. So there's a lot of demons in it, but the only three that you actually play as are Jack Frost, Jack Lantern, and Jack Ripper are their names. So Jack the Ripper and Pyro Jack, or see, I did it there, but Jack-o'-lantern. Speaking of obscure, underrated games, Pyro Jack is also one of the playable characters in Shin Megami Tensei Synchronicity Prologue, a Metroidvania made by the same talented group who would later bring us Record of Lodos War Deedlit in Wonder Labyrinth.
Such a weird connection.
It is a really weird connection, and those two games play very similarly.
That's even weirder.
It is. It's really weird. So this game might even be canon to Shin Megami Tensei. It even gets stranger than that. So basically, in both of these games, you're playing in an action, think like Symphony of the Night kind of Metroidvania, except you have the ability to switch between elements. So in Deedlit and Wonder Labyrinth, as well as in Synchronicity Prologue, you can choose to either be ice or fire aligned. So if you are ice aligned, and you are hit with an ice attack, you take no damage, or you can phase through it, and that enemy that did it is probably weak to fire. So you then switch to fire to do it. Now, to make the switch, you're making either Jack Frost or Pyro Jack switching places as they're tag teaming and fighting together. This would be a perfect Super Smash Brothers character, by the way. Just the Jacks.
Is this where I see them riding on top of each other?
Yes.
Is that where this art comes from?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, in fact, Good Smile made Nendoroids of these two, and they are compatible to ride together, which in itself is a reference to Synchronicity Prologue, which is such an obscure game, because this was Japan only. It did get a translation by fans. However, I personally had a lot of issues trying to remap the controls to make the game playable, and I just could not get to that point, unfortunately. I got decently far just giving it up and playing on a keyboard where it's playable, but my controller, I just could not do it. I have beaten Deedlit and Wonder Labyrinth, though, and that is a really good game. Not that Synchronicity Prologue is not, but,
it's a really weird name for a game.
Yeah, it is. I believe it takes place around the time of Strange Journey, if I'm remembering correctly. It sure seems like it. Anyway, back in Jack's awkward naked Mickey Mouse days, he was of the fowl race, but from his new design on, he is instead being classified as a fairy.
I mean, I think it's kind of weird that he's being classified as a fairy. In none of his lore is he ever considered the Fae or anything.
Well, it's a race. They have to be fair, some races only have a few demons that are actually in it, and some are huge. What would you say he is if...
I don't really know the races too well. I'm only now starting to learn them now that I'm playing SMT3, or 5.
Okay.
Is there something swampy related? I don't know.
Foul, honestly, is probably the one that makes sense. That's what slime is. His alignment is completely neutral, possibly because he is one of the Jacks and not necessarily because of his lore. That's my guess, but I don't know his lore too well as of this moment.
He should be chaos.
He should be chaos, huh?
Absolutely chaos line.
Stat-wise, he is very consistent. He almost always blocks, repels, drains, or resists fire, and is almost always weak to ice. A weird exception is SMT1, where he actually blocks ice for some reason I can't explain.
That's okay. Balancing.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure in that one he didn't even block or resist fire. I don't know. His best stat is usually magic, but since he's also such an early game demon, this tends to vary slightly. So when you see this guy in your game, it is safe to say that you just started. Skill-wise, he uses lots and lots of fire spells. Agi, Maragi, Agalau, Fire to One, Fire to All, Fire, Fire, Fire. In SMT5 Vengeance, Jack even gets a bonus unique attack called Jack Agalau, which is a medium fire spell to one enemy while also lowering their attack by one stage. Plus, it has an adorable animation. He sways back and forth while snickering before cackling in a close-up and lobbing a lit jack-o'-lantern at the enemy, which explodes in a multitude of jack-o'-lantern-shaped colorful fireworks.
I thought you were going to say he learns his new move, which is just fire. No more, we're not messing around with Aggie anymore.
He
This
sets
is just
himself
fire.
on fire.
That's it. That's the move.
You can expect him to behave like a childish trickster if you attempt to negotiate with him, or ever encounter him in the various parts of each game's story moments where he appears. He's got a lot of attention and love over the years, and has become one of the main icons of the series because of it. He's in seemingly countless promotional art and appears in nearly all of the games. He's also treated as a counterpart opposite of Jack Frost, and the two can be seen together frequently in the games. As for story, sure, you'll encounter Jack-o'-lantern as an NPC occasionally, see his and Jack Frost's images snuck into the background in Atlas's games somehow, and discover other mechanically unique instances where he appears. For example, in the dreaded minigame Puzzle Boy from SMT3 Nocturne, you actually play as a Jack-o'-lantern suffering through 20 agonizing levels of block-pushing torture in order to unlock a Magatama.
Well, yeah, maybe I shouldn't keep playing that game.
It's horrible. I would recommend playing, like, the first, 10 levels, because it's good enough that, it's an enjoyable little minigame, and then it gets extremely hard, and you probably just need to look up a guide on how to actually beat the levels, because if you ever back out, you have to start over and play all of them over again. You have to do all of this in one go.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I got through the card game in FF8, but that wasn't necessary for me to beat the game.
Now,
so.
Puzzle Boy traumatizes people.
Is this a Nocturne, you said?
This is a Nocturne, yes.
Okay. I already hate the stupid travel minigame.
No, the descend through Amala.
Descend into hell!
Yeah, you're falling through Amala. Unfortunately, that's the fastest way to make money, if you really know what you're doing.
I know, but it's so dumb. I get it. It's a loading screen. I get it,
Yeah,
guys.
it's
You
an
do not
action
have to
loading
come
screen.
after me. I just think it's dumb.
It's silly. Yeah, it doesn't really make a lot of sense
It
for
takes
the
you
demi-fiend
out
to
of
be...
the game immersion.
Yeah, it's weird.
100%. It's like the gummy ship in
You know, it
Kingdom
kinda
Hearts.
is. It's the gummy
It is.
ship.
That is what I'm going to compare it to. That is exactly what it is.
Except everything in Kingdom Hearts is designed to take you out of the game, and for some reason in...
The gummy ship's the worst.
Gummy ship, and you're descending different levels of hell in SMT3, and what you look forward to are giant floating boulders that either hurt you or pop like balloons and are full of money.
I thought you were going to say you're descending into hell, just like in Kingdom Hearts with your gummy ship.
No, Kingdom Hearts beginning to end is hell. So anyway, in SMT5, you'll join up with a Jack-o'-lantern as a navigator on your mission from the fairy village in order to track down the goddess Idun and her golden apples, as we previously discussed
she
in
comes
the
again.
last episode.
Here she comes.
And as previously mentioned, you can straight up play as him in Jack Bros, the hit Virtual Boy game, and SMT Synchronicity Prologue.
How many people owned a Virtual Boy?
My half-brother did. And after he lost it or his family sold it, he went out and bought another one later, and he has it in a glass case.
There's
so.
20 in
There's
existence?
at least one person. There we go.
Well, and George Costanza.
He actually had a copy of Jack Bros too. Unfortunately, that got sold, and it's a really rare game now.
Oh, really?
Which is on NSO. If you pay for the extra expensive version of NSO, you can now play Virtual Boy games on there. And Jack Bros is on there, which is great. Play as Jack Ripper, though, if you're going to play that, though. He is
Seems wrong.
he is by far the
I
best
have a
character.
lot of problems with that.
Playing as an actual human being who was just a serial killer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to that demon eventually.
There's a few demons like that, too. It's not just...
Yeah, we have some insensitive demons, for sure. There's some that are just, kind of sexist, transphobic. There's all sorts of... There's a huge gamut of demons you've
Horrible.
never heard of that are
Horrible.
offensive.
I mean, I still just like to bring up Dead Lobster.
Dead Lobster's just stupid. It's a Red Lobster joke.
I don't even know if it is, though.
No, I'm pretty freaking sure
it
it's...
sounds like it is, but, why?
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 Why? That's the thing, why?
I'm gonna figure out that it wasn't even established then or something.
I don't know. Kim, it is time for your quiz question, hee-ho.
Yo, wait.
My hee-hos. In Persona 5, demons all get different names until Joker has acquired them as a mask. These names are usually referencing the actual demon's origin while also feeling like you don't know anything about them. Which of these names is the actual name Joker uses to describe Jack-o'-lantern before he recruits him? A. Crypt-dwelling pyromaniac. B. Flaming gourd ghost. C. Spectral fire pumpkin. D. Inviting pyromaniac.
It's A.
Answer is A for Persona 5.
Because I absolutely love these names, and I point them out every single time, like Midnight Prostitute, I think is one.
Yeah.
I love them.
There's a
They're
bunch of great ones.
They are great.
And as a little trick or treat, D is also the answer. For Persona 5 Royal, Joker changes the names up.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, instead of Crypt-Dwelling Pyromaniac, he calls him Inviting Pyromaniac.
Because I remembered the Crypt-Dwelling Pyromaniac, but that was, like, my first instance of ever playing an SMT Persona anything.
Right, so like, that was the first name you saw.
That was the thing I remembered, yeah.
It's weird to so briefly cover one of the most recognizable and iconic demons of the series in such a short time. For as little as I had to say about him, I still love his design and appeal in the series. Now, before we move on to the lore, I thought it would be appropriate to save the alternative quote for Jack-o'-lantern for last, as it hints at his bizarre story. This comes from Persona 5.
A drunkard who tricked the devil out of taking him to hell. When refused entry to heaven, he was forced to wander the earth with only an ember as a light.
And with that, we are going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we will dive into whatever the heck that meant.
Exactly what it said!
And we're back with more Demonica. Now it is time to ask the question, Kim, who or what is Jack-o'-lantern? Or Pyrojack.
I know, it's going to be really hard. No, Pyrojack.
Pyrojack.
As we all know, a jack-o'-lantern is a pumpkin usually carved with a face on it and a light from the inside, traditionally put out on Halloween. Let's go into the true demonic origin of this tradition. In Irish folklore, this is going to sound exactly like the quote you just said.
Okay.
In Irish folklore, a male named Jack tricked the devil and was forced to wander the earth carrying a carved-out turnip with a coal inside of it, lighting his way.
He's called a drunkard in some of those quotes. Is he supposed to be just like...
He's a drunkard, yeah.
Okay.
He's definitely an alcoholic.
Okay.
And a blacksmith.
And a blacksmith. Does that have anything to do with why he was tricking the devil, or like his character whatsoever?
Yeah,
or is it because
it's
he's
more like
Irish and that's why he's drunk?
It's more like a moral compass thing, but yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so today we're gonna mix things up a little bit, and just because I thought it would flow better. Normally I do the traits and everything first, but today we're gonna do the story first, and then we're gonna go into the traits.
Yeah, I think we kind of want to know that part first.
Yeah, I thought that would make the most sense. So the story started around in the 1600s, which was oral tradition again, and then was written in the early 19th century. The story is just called Stingy Jack.
Stingy Jack.
According to the story, Jack had invited the devil to have a drink with him. Jack didn't want to pay for the devil, so he convinced the devil to turn into a coin. Instead of paying for the drink, though, he pocketed the coin and kept it next to a silver cross in his pocket, trapping the devil.
This is so... There were so many things that happened.
Do we need to...
Well, hold on here. So first, he's casually friends with the devil.
Yeah, he just casually hangs out with the devil.
Okay, then why would he need to trick him?
He wants to trap the devil.
His friend.
I don't know.
They're on good terms.
I don't know if they're friends. He just invited the devil to have a drink with him.
And the devil said yes. Therefore, they're on good terms. You don't just hang out with people you don't like. Have you ever been invited to go somewhere with your coworkers and you're like, but I don't actually like you people?
All the time.
Exactly. Like, so clearly it was better than that because the devil went.
He was paying for the devil. That's what he told the devil.
Supposedly.
The devil was like, free drinks,
oh,
yeah.
Okay, so he's just a drunkard too. Right, this is an Irish story, everybody.
And I didn't even mention it in here, but like I did say before, yes, he's an alcoholic. Yes, he's a blacksmith. The alcohol thing, yeah, I guess it's relevant to the first part of the story, sure. But it's just, he spends all his money on booze. That's kind of the background you need to know.
That's an alcoholic, all right.
Yeah. Eventually, Jack gave the devil his freedom, under the condition that he leave him alone for 1 year and that he not take his soul when he dies.
Oh, wait, what? Leave him alone? Those are two different stipulations,
yes.
Then. Okay, so that means he has, like, what, no temptations for a year?
I guess.
No, what does that mean?
I wouldn't look too far into it.
I'm curious.
This story's kind of like base level. I feel like there's not too much symbolism in it. You can kind of take it at face value.
The face value is pretty confusing. Also, what did this coin look like? What is the devil coin?
I don't know. It just looks like gold because he was supposed to be able to pay with it, right? Or, Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So-
Yeah, sure.
The devil agrees, and after 1 year, returns to Jack. So now he can bother Jack again.
Okay. He can talk to him.
Yeah, I guess they are friends.
So
I don't know.
So we had a restraining order. That was part of the deal. And then he shows up like the first day because they're like ex-lovers and he just can't stay away.
Then Jack tricks the devil into climbing a tree to pick some fruit. Once the devil is up the tree, Jack carves a cross into the bark, trapping the devil.
The devil just
Is
keeps,
an idiot in all of these
keeps
stories.
falling for it. Now, this is Satan or Lucifer?
This is Satan.
Satan.
Yes.
Okay.
Most texts just say the devil, but I did find like the actual text says Satan.
Okay. As we know in SMT, they are kind of opposites. That's why I was asking.
In order for the devil to get back down, he has to promise Jack to leave him alone for another 10 more years.
10 now.
So not long after this, Jack dies. God doesn't want him since he's awful. And the devil doesn't want him
hold on, just
and
'cause
can't take him.
Just because he's an alcoholic. He was awful.
Yeah, he's a drunkard and he's clearly mischievous. He's just a terrible person.
He's tricking the devil, Satan, which is actually God's most loyal angels. Never mind. Yeah. Right.
You talked yourself in a circle
If
with that
he
one.
was
I don't.
tricking Lucifer, God would be like, "Hey, bro, come on in here." But no, he was tricking Satan, and that's
so-
God's like punishment arm.
So yeah, he can't go to heaven. He can't go to hell. Nobody wants him.
Okay, so he is now trapped.
The devil did give Jack a parting gift of coal of hellfire that would never burn out. So Jack is left to wander the earth carrying a carved turnip with a coal in it to light his way.
A turnip.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Okay, we'll get to it. Okay, pop quiz!
All right.
If any of you were listening to the beginning of this episode, you'll probably get this answer. Really
Okay,
easy.
Yeah.
This story was an explanation for what phenomenon?
The Will-o'-the-Wisp.
Yeah.
I got it.
Can't even let me say my other ones. I put ball lightning and St. Elmo's fire in there. I was trying to make it tricky.
Yeah, okay.
But if you know what those things actually are, then it's pretty obvious which one it is.
Yeah, that's true.
So anyway, this story was originally started to explain the Will-o'-wisp, the Ignis Fatuus, fairy lights, fool's lights, etc. They have a bunch of names.
Yeah, and that's another thing that's kind of all around the world too, isn't it? People.
Well, this is specifically for the marshes in Ireland.
I know, but like Japan has their own version of
Yeah,
this
the
too.
Hinotama,
And
like you
yeah,
said.
there's different aspects of this that seems to be seen around the world. I find that very interesting when we have different people validating the same story.
Which is most likely caused from, you've probably guessed it, swamp gas.
Swamp gas.
Which, I mean, if you're any kind of a paranormal enthusiast, you hate that phrase. I hate that phrase so much. Because it all started just because some scientist offhandedly said something and it was taken out of context and now everything's swamp gas. So...
Unfortunately, a lot of cryptid paranormal hunters do that. They'll gravitate to something that a scientist says.
No,
and
this
take it
was
out
the
of context.
skeptics gravitating to it and saying that's the explanation for everything.
I understand. That's what I was trying to say.
It happens both ways. So I bet you're probably wondering, but Kim, that was a turnip.
Yeah, well, not even a gourd.
Not a pumpkin. That was a turnip.
You know, the original jack-o'-lantern kind of looks turnipy.
Yeah, well,
he
so-
looks more like a rotting tomato.
Now we need to go through the history of the jack-o'-lantern, right?
Okay, yes.
Yeah, let's get now. Okay, we got the fun lore story out of the way. So to get the history of jack-o'-lanterns, we have to go back through history of trick-or-treating too.
Yeah, because I don't understand why anybody hearing that story would go, yes, let me carve a turnip/pumpkin, whatever, and put a light inside of it and put that on my porch.
So you probably could have all guessed this was going to be a very Halloween-y episode as we are recording on Halloween, and
By pure coincidence.
Yes.
We planned the alphabetical demons like a month and a half ago before we started, and
More than that.
I didn't think to look up who was going to show up on certain days, and this just happened to be Jay lining up with Halloween, which happened to be our choice, jack-o'-lantern.
All right, so trick-or-treating comes from a Gaelic celebration of Samhain. My one Gaelic Celtic word.
What is Samhain?
where people would go from door to door looking for food offerings. Samhain takes place from October 31st to November 1st, marking the end of the harvest season. Communities would share their food with each other to help the community survive the winter. This is also the time of year the veil is considered the thinnest and people dress as monsters to scare away evil spirits or leave offerings at their doors.
Monsters are scared of evil spirits?
Yes.
Because the rest of that sounds okay. Yeah, that I can see like a lot of early communities that are not as like well established or well off.
Yeah, this is like the 1600s.
Exactly.
So...
I can see like, this farmer has tons of corn, but he really wants the tomatoes that the other guy was growing, and everyone just kind of shares what they've got with each other so that they all have enough food. Mm-hmm. That's great. I get that. But monsters are scared of evil spirits.
No, evil spirits are scared of monsters.
It's still silly.
People dress up. I mean, it was just the whole idea. You dress up as a monster and you scare away evil spirits for the year. Or in some cases, people would leave offerings of food on their porch to satisfy the evil spirits so they don't bother them for the next year.
I see. So instead of dressing up yourself and constantly sitting at your own porch, you want to make a fake monster to sit on your own porch for you and scare off the evil spirits.
Sure, why not? But as you can see, this is clearly trick-or-treating as it is nowadays. There's a weird, corrupt version of it, but that's what it is.
Yeah, except instead of being disappointed you got another apple, you're disappointed you got an almond joy.
Our daughter loves them, apparently.
I don't understand
You
that.
watch her eat one.
No kid likes almond joys. I've not seen this with my own eyes yet. She's only told me that she ate an almond joy on purpose and liked it.
Yeah, she tried to trade me one the other day, and I just put it back in her candy.
Yeah.
I didn't want it.
No.
Okay, so that kind of gives us, like, the base for Halloween and how it's changed. But clearly that's happening in Ireland as a Gaelic tradition called Samhain.
Over here, everybody is dressing up as either Frozen or K-pop demon hunters.
Correct. Great, now you've just dated this episode.
It's 2025. Everybody is either Frozen because Frozen will never die, and K-pop demon hunters because it just came out.
Our daughter gets so mad when she sees another Elsa.
She was very jealous. Yeah.
Every time.
Gives another Elsa the stink eye.
Like, she can be the only one.
She got a little confused today when she ran into 3 Olafs at the same time. And an Anna.
This movie, it has a grip on the community. It won't let go.
It will not let go.
It's been 11 years. Okay, so now, with all that out of the way, let's get to the jack-o'-lantern part then. When traveling from door to door, people would make a makeshift lantern to bring with them. Being it was the pre-industrial revolution, many people did not have traditional lanterns and would make them out of root vegetables like potatoes or turnips, etc.
They did it to actually see.
Really, whatever vegetables were on hand. I mean, you're in Ireland.
I see.
Take a guess.
Why would you carry a pumpkin around? So I guess a turnip makes more sense.
Yeah.
You're really just putting like a tea light candle in it and walking around with that?
No.
Like a full-on lantern.
Hold on. They'd place a coal inside of the lantern to carry with them to light the way. Pre-industrial revolution. Come on.
Right, yeah.
1600s. Now, you should also understand that coal was really valuable in that time. Mm-hmm. Coal was a source of heat to keep your house warm during the winter.
It was like salt.
Yeah, many
Super
families
valuable.
might not have survived the winter without coal because that is how you kept your family warm and possibly heated food if you needed to. So you can see how Samhain was like a very important tradition for the Irish community of sharing food. They would also share coals so people could store them inside of their lanterns as they carried them around from house
That
to
makes
house.
sense, yeah, because otherwise you don't eat and you freeze.
Right, so you put the coals inside of the root vegetables, nothing gets burnt, and you can carry it and it can stay hot on the way back to your house. And you can see.
And they're still handing out food as they do this, right?
Right. So it was just really a way for the community to support itself. Samhain eventually became Halloween as we know it in the States. Immigrants brought over the tradition during that horrible point in history called the potato famine.
Yeah, that was bad.
Do we need to talk about the potato famine?
Does it have anything to do with jack-o'-lantern?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's the reason why the Irish came to America.
I mean, yeah, you got that, but...
I didn't put anything in my notes about the potato famine.
Things got worse somehow in Ireland, and they left.
Things got worse, and all of the peasants had to leave.
Which was basically everyone.
Right. So, Irish immigrants still wanting to celebrate Samhain in America found a vegetable that was much more plentiful in the Americas. the pumpkin. Over in Ireland, don't have pumpkins. America, pumpkins were everywhere. And then the jack-o'-lantern was born.
Just for carrying their coal.
Carrying the coal and then using it as a lantern. Well, yeah, I don't know if it was necessarily using it as a lantern when they were, that size, but to carry coal from one place to another, it was better. You're not going to use a bag.
No.
You're not going to use, metal.
But they still had to scoop these things out. And,
right.
Yeah.
So these traditions are all well and good, but why did we start carving faces on them? Other than that, it's a cute way to make holes in a pumpkin to use as a lantern.
Sure, and, it's not just this typical scary face that we all know and expect out of a jack-o'-lantern, but if you ever go into any professional art shows where they've got jack-o'-lanterns or anything like that, like our local zoo has tons of jack-o'-lanterns, I guess you could say, which are really just, practically laser engraved or artist sketched.
No, and they're not even real pumpkins.
Multi-level shaved down pumpkin. Oh, I'm sure you've seen some online where people shave down different levels of pumpkin so it glows different levels through it, and they make whole illustrations out of them. Some are amazing. How did we get to that?
I feel like I've really buried the lead. Here's the demon. Okay, let's go back really far in history.
We'll get to him.
Go over the history of several different things before we get to that thing.
Yeah, before we get to the fact that he wears a green hat and a blue robe.
I mean,
which I'm sure will never come up.
I knew the story of Jack-o'-lantern before we started this, and I was like, oh, I love this story. It's just so fascinating, all the history behind it and how now we have it in America and how it became that. So, the ideas of carving faces started way before we used them as lanterns. Celts believed that the head was the seat of the soul, wisdom, and life force. So throughout Celtic and Irish lore, you see heads showing up all the time, just showing up with their importance. I think there's some on Cuchulain's belt or something like that, and heads have a significant importance.
Decapitated heads?
Yes.
Oh. That's pleasant.
And as you can probably guess, the heads were from battles and were ways to remember loved ones as well.
Oh.
And the Celts were experimenting with ways to preserve heads for thousands of years.
Good.
Naturally, they started carving faces into vegetables to preserve them and the symbolism of that.
So you're like, oh no, my wife has passed away. I wish to remember her by carving 2 triangles and a zigzag line into a pumpkin.
I would hope they're more detailed than that, but I don't know. I mean, I also know that ancient humans would keep the skulls of loved ones on shelves.
Yeah, kind of like how we keep
a memorial.
An urn with ashes inside of them.
So it's not unusual that now that transitioned into becoming a jack-o'-lantern. So that was way before we had the turnips for coal. So then they started putting faces on them like that too. For the same reason. Also, if you know anything about the Irish screaming heads lore or anything like that, heads are very important in Irish lore. Also,
so is alcohol.
Yes. Drunkard. Yeah. Stingy Jack. Okay, now we can finally get to the traits. I think that was all the history I needed to go over.
All right.
Well, how are we feeling about that history?
Yeah, good.
Good?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. I'm trying to also piece it together. I'm assuming just modern people over time, kind of like what happened to Christmas as it gets popularized, it just radically changes and gets to where we are today. So now we have, kids running around in costumes that starts at a very particular time as the sun is starting to go down, go door to door to get candy instead of your food.
Right. I mean, I assume it was kind of like that once we started getting into those, closer to now modern day, food became more plentiful. We still wanted to share, immigrants
Nobody's
still
worried
wanted
about
to
spirits.
Yeah.
They're actually just dressing up however they want, and it's just a matter of dressing up.
Right. And I heard that as a kid though, even I heard that Halloween was about warding off spirits. I don't know. I was taught that. I went to public school, so...
You could have been taught the earth was flat. Who knows?
So now that we have all that information, I want to look at Jack-o'-lantern's designs and other stuff it's related to.
Yeah. Oh gosh, this has to be a huge segment. I didn't even think of this.
Well, no, kind of.
Jack-o'-lanterns are everywhere.
Yeah, that was my biggest problem.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm a little puzzled by his design choices if we were just basing it off of the lore by itself. The design is definitively Halloween though, and I love it. You just look at that design, you're like, that is Halloween. But at the same time, it's not like really referencing the lore other than he has a lantern that he holds.
So I have a question. Was this always one, I'm going to call it a holiday just to make it clear what I'm talking about, or was the food rationing and sharing of the coals thing separate and just happened to be going on at the same time as the spirit warding?
No, I'm pretty sure they've always been one thing.
They've always
been associated together as Samhain.
That's kind of odd that they would connect those things. Like, you go out and do Halloween, you already think, like, this is a strange thing. Why are we going door to door dressed up as whatever we feel like?
I think the most
candy?
bastardized version you can get of it, though, is whatever Japan does.
Oh, Japan just wanted to party.
Over in Ireland, they have Samhain, and then we have Halloween, and then Japan does their thing. Which should probably just have another new name.
Yeah, it really should just have a new name.
So, yeah, really the only thing I thought that was in reference to, like, the original story is that Jack-o'-lantern is holding a lantern, and that's about it from, like, the Stingy Jack story.
So he has his coal, right? Like, he was
right,
given a coal.
But he's, like, using, like, a regular lantern. He's not holding a turnip or a...
Well, he is the pumpkin.
Right,
which should be a pumpkin.
Which is weird.
People recognize him if he's a pumpkin.
Okay, but that's why I'm saying, like, I think the other design is better because it is just a jack-o'-lantern itself. Whereas, like,
oh, sure.
This design, it's holding the lantern and it's, like, kind of trying to be Jack and it's trying to be a jack-o'-lantern at the same time.
Well, I kind of like that they're trying to do both.
I mean, I don't hate his design. Don't get me wrong. I'm just trying to explain how, in the lore, it feels like the design's not really going one way or the other. It's kind of, like, trying to mesh them.
I kind of like it trying to mesh them.
So,
and,
yeah.
Separating it. Like, he's this wandering spirit, but he's still a trickster. And, like, he's at the end and the beginning of his story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. And, you know, it screws him over. That's kind of typical. Mm-hmm. Of those stories. And I kind of feel like the jack-o'-lantern head being a jack-o'-lantern is more of a reference to something like Nightmare Before Christmas more than anything else. You know, there's nothing in the lore that ever says that Jack had a pumpkin head or became headless, right?
Right, because I know when we talked about it earlier, the Disney adaptation of the Headless Horseman Sleepy Hollow story, mm-hmm. He actually has a jack-o'-lantern for his head. He holds a
jack-o'-lantern,
and I don't know how prevalent that was in the Headless Horseman story, but that could be older, potentially. Like, I know the Dullahan was a lot older than...
it was all about the same time. Really? Sleepy Hollow and the Dullahan all came about at the same time.
Well, I meant with jack-o'-lantern.
Okay, so yeah, that would have been a lot later.
Yeah.
A lot later. Yeah, so that's the weird part for me. That's why I was saying I think maybe his older design might be a little bit better in that case, because it's not like he's like a headless horseman or anything like that. But, you know, now we have so many references to like jack-o'-lantern head things, right?
Right.
So overall, his design heavily references Halloween lore. He has a witch hat and a cloak.
Yes.
And we can't forget, you know, the lack of his body, which is great.
Yes,
you know, it makes him like a little spooky ghost.
He's a ghost, he's a witch, and he's a jack-o'-lantern, and he's the story.
But he's not like Stingy Jack. That's what I'm trying to get at, is like, I don't think I could definitively like call this demon actually Stingy Jack. He's
more
him,
like flipping a coin and
I want him to be a human. Yes.
Carrying a turnip.
Correct.
I feel like in SMT4, if Jack-o'-lantern were not such an important and iconic character in Shin Megami Tensei, they would have redesigned him to look like Stingy Jack. Or they could theoretically make another demon.
It can still be two different things. Yeah. Because to me, it kind of is. It's like, okay, this is the lore of the jack-o'-lantern.
Which is
the
kind of become a new thing.
Right. And then this is Stingy Jack's history. Like, they're two separate things to me.
So maybe surprise bonus demon recommendation, Atlas. Maybe we need Stingy Jack. He needs to be luck-based.
Luck-based? Yeah.
If he's flipping a coin and, you know, tricking the devil for more time.
Yeah, I just can't believe the devil fell for that.
Satan can be a doofus when you give him enough alcohol, I guess.
I think that's a pretty common theme in most lore about the devil or Satan, is that he can be tricked very easily. Comes up a lot.
Good. Good for them.
So another thing I did want to mention is that the reason why we leave them on our porches for Halloween, it's supposed to scare away Stingy Jack from your house.
Scare Stingy Jack, not the spirits.
Yeah.
That's confusing. Okay, so he is now become the monster to be scaring away?
But here's my thing. Why would Stingy Jack be scared of pumpkins? And also, how did he get to America?
That's the real question. Because of the potato famine. Stingy Jack was hit hard too.
He's dead!
Yeah, but he didn't go to heaven or hell, so he has to eat.
I mean, they might have been putting, like, turnip heads and stuff on their porches before this to ward off Stingy Jack. But it was also, like, in the lore, like, that's how you ward off Stingy Jack.
The real question is, what's Stingy Jack gonna do? Take your alcohol?
I don't know. Probably trick you into something. I don't know. Make you talk to the devil.
He's friends with the devil, so I guess by association, you should not be friends with Stingy Jack.
Right. So I'm even questioning at this point if I need to go over all of the modern references to Stingy Jack, since we see it every Halloween. I mean, we have jack-o'-lanterns on our porch even. Mm-hmm. Like, it's so heavily ingrained in the American, like, society for Halloween, I feel like. But, you know, I'm going to go over it all anyway.
Yeah.
So, stingy
You have stingy references?
Ascart. Stingy Jack is referenced in just about everything. Things from movies like Nightmare Before Christmas to comic characters like Merv the Pumpkinhead from Sandman, just to mention a few.
Oh, yeah. I remember that guy.
I don't know why. He's like one of the first ones I thought. I think it's his character seems very much like a Stingy Jack character to me.
Yeah, I guess so. It took me a second to realize who you were talking about. I was like, what? I've read Sandman twice, by the way, and I still didn't remember.
So it's just, it's always like now it's like a thing. You just have the pumpkin head, and now that's Stingy Jack in some way, and some reference to it. Of course, jack-o'-lanterns are in video games, and you know they're in the usual suspects in this case.
Well, are we counting will-o'-wisps? Because then this would get insane.
Nope, just the ones that are labeled pumpkin heads, jack-o'-lanterns, anything like that. So,
like background designs, if anything has a Halloween special, DLC event or anything, my God.
I know, I'm trying not to get into that. I'm talking more about like
specifically the
character.
Okay, then lay it on me. Let me guess. Okay. Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy 12 is the one I'm most familiar with. It's one of the hunts in the game. It's called Pumpkinhead, and it's kind of like a shoot off of the I always say that
Mandragora?
Wrong.
What are we trying to say here?
You know what? It's an offshoot of the Mandragora types of enemies in that game. There's just a set amount of enemies that have like root vegetables for heads that you can fight.
Okay.
And this one's got a jack-o'-lantern face carved into it and a little cute little body. It's like 2 feet tall.
There is a very rarely used race in Shin Megami Tensei called food, and I feel like we might even be able to classify jack-o'-lantern as food.
Yeah, but you never eat a jack-o'-lantern.
Some people do eat pumpkin.
I'm sure you could eat pumpkin, but when it's to the point where it's a jack-o'-lantern...
and left it on your porch for a while?
There's nothing to eat there anymore.
No. I mean, squirrels eat it. It's food. I didn't say it was edible to humans. Okay. It's food.
So you could probably guess it's also in Castlevania.
And it's probably really wrong.
It's actually a secret character in Castlevania just called Pumpkin. And this is in Lament of Innocence and Curse of Darkness, because I knew you were going to ask me which games.
I was, yes.
But it's like a rare find character.
I didn't play either very long.
And Pumpkaboo. I just had to talk about Pumpkaboo.
Oh, well, that's just a pumpkin that technically... It's got headlights. It's not really
it's not
carved.
Really a reference, but...
Yeah, it's a Pokemon.
It's more of a reference to a jack-o'-lantern itself than, Stingy Jack.
Yeah. No, the evolution, Gorgeist, is that right? He looks more like a jack-o'-lantern, I think.
It's a gourd.
Sure, that's whatever. But like the belly has like the face on it, doesn't it?
Yeah, but Pumpkaboo's got like headlight eyeballs.
It's got headlights.
My eyes are up here. So now that we are all well informed about the history of jack-o'-lanterns, how do you feel about Pyro Jack? I had to say Pyro Jack.
Pyro Jack? Well, that's the only way. I knew him for, like, most of the games I've played.
I couldn't say jack-o'-lantern. Do you know how annoying it is to type jack-o'-lantern 500 times in your script?
Well, yes, because I did it too.
On my phone, it was easy because it would, like, autofill, but if I did it on the computer...
Yeah, I did it on my phone. I love this demon. I think he looks great. I know,
me too. I really do like him. I have nothing wrong with him. I mean, clearly you went over his weaknesses and resistances. Makes sense. I think he should be Chaos aligned, but like you said, he's just kind of part of that line.
Well, I feel like dark neutral might make more sense instead of being neutral. Like, he's doesn't really answer to anybody. Clearly he was fending off the devil and he wasn't welcome in heaven or hell. So I feel like neutral makes sense, but is he a sinister force? Well, yeah, because people are scared about whatever he does when he comes to your house. He might be dark neutral.
Yeah, I don't have any information on that.
But he was always neutral. Like, neutral. They were dead set on that. And I'm thinking it was because he's Jack Frost's brother, friend.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing.
Be sure to tune into the next episode where we will summon a new demon that begins with the letter K. Let us know what your favorite demon is that begins with K and what you thought of this episode. We would love to hear from you. You can find me online at HamsterBomb on YouTube, where I host a long list of Let's Plays, reviews, and live streams. Thank you all so much for listening. Take care not to let the demons possess you while you sleep. And have a happy Halloween that we've already missed. Late Halloween. And we will all see you all in the next episode. But yeah.
Are we doing Amaraki for Thanksgiving?
Say goodbye.
Bye.